Creating Value with Mark Making with Miss O. Before we begin, let's review value. A value is the lightness or darkness of a color. Now that we've established what value is, let's look at mark making. Mark making is a technique that is used to describe the different lines, dots, patterns, texture we use to create an artwork. At the top of my page, I have a predetermined value scale, light to dark, so that way you can have that visual aid as you start creating your different techniques. Our first technique we're going to be looking at is hatching. Hatching is an artistic technique used to create tones or shadings by drawing closely spaced parallel lines. For my example of hatching, I'm going to start on the left side with a green pen, using very closely spaced lines and lots of pressure. As I want my bar to get lighter, I will space out my lines a little bit and also use less force. By the time I get to the end of the bar, I will have very few lines and a little bit of pressure, just leaving a small trace of ink on the paper. For our next technique, we'll be using cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is an extension of hatching. The difference here is you'll be using intersecting parallel lines to create your value instead of just lines going parallel. Like I did with the hatching box, for cross-hatching I'm going to start with my orange pen, creating small, very closely spaced orange lines with lots of pressure, and then I'm going to go back the opposite direction and cross over, making an X. I'm going to continue this pattern all the way down my block, slowly spacing out both lines and how hard I'm pushing with the pen. Our next technique is stippling. For stippling, you use closely spaced dots. The darker you want the value to be, the closer together your dots are. On the other hand, the lighter you want the image to appear, the further the dots are spaced apart. Again, I'm going to start with a concentrated mass of dots to the left, and as I want my bar to gradually get lighter, I will use less dots and have them more spread apart. And our final technique is scribbling. Scribbling is just what it sounds like. You're going to take your pen and you're going to go up and down, you're going to go in circles, and the darker you want it to be, the closer together and the more compact your scribbling is going to be. The lighter you want it, the less pressure you're going to use, and the more open your scribbles are. Now here's your challenge. You're going to create a stamp using theme, value, and whatever mark making technique you'd like to use. For mine, I chose to do scribbling. My theme is childhood, and my emphasis is the ice cream cone. There's lots of other things you could add to your stamp to make it more unique, like a date, a time, any of the kind of stuff that you see on a real stamp. Now go create.